Hey guys, J77 here doing another flashback review. And the flashback review movie I'm going to be talking about is continuing the comic book movies that are being released this summer. And the film I'm going to be talking about is Man in Black. Yes, Man in Black was a comic book before it was a movie or a cartoon show. In fact, three comic book publishers had done one-time only comics of the popular series. I believe Airspan Novels, Elcel, I'm sorry, Elcel Comics have done one. Melbu Comics have done three as well. And Marvel Comics, the last one to had the rights to Man in Black, have done four. All of them was miniseries. All of them pretty much dark, and all of them was based on the secret or so-called secret servicemen that were known as the Man in Black. It was adapted to the big screen. It stars Will Smith. It also stars Tommy Lee Jones. And this film, to my surprise, actually got my attention not because of the movie but the music. The music was the sticking point for me because I heard the beat before. I know it was a cover of something. I just don't remember what. I know my mom had the song, and it was only later on when I was listening to old souls and old jazz and old R&B where I realized where I've heard that cover from. A great cover, and I think Will Smith, for the most part, it did a good job for a movie soundtrack. I thought it was pretty good. Um, as for the movie itself, it was fun to watch. It was very much entertaining. Is it dated? A little bit. It's a little bit dated, but not to a grand scale. I mean, there were some scenes that they were trying to push as a marketing device, which never hit the ground. In fact, it fell flat. And thanks to some of our gadgets now, you really look at that and say, yeah, it never worked out. But in other cases, the film still has its charm. It still also has some fun to it. Will Smith was excellent in this movie, as well as Tommy Jones. Even the villain was actually pretty good. The bug, I like to call him the Bug King because that's what he was. He was very, very. We pretty much know he was a cockroach in disguise. You just didn't know how big he was at the very end. Basically, the story is very simple. You have a bunch of MIB agents protecting us from aliens who wants to do harm. At the same time, they are aiding and hiding aliens from other planets to live and work mostly in Manhattan. They also make some fun reference of other celebrities who have made it, who are considered aliens or on the close watch list. And it's more of a pretty much from when you saw Will Smith and you saw from the very beginning of the film, you pretty much knew that it was going to be a sci-fi comedy, and I had no problem with that. I knew the comic book was dark. I don't think it was nothing comical about the comic book, but in terms of this, it worked it better because you have there was something for each audience. For the grown-ups, you had that dark, airy feel to the film when it got dark and airy. But there was also something for the kids they can hang on to. The characters were pretty fun to be with. The storyline was pretty good. I actually liked the storyline a lot more than I actually came into, and partially because I didn't give this film much of a chance until I actually saw it, and I was actually enjoying myself for a film, which makes me feel bad I didn't see it when it first came out. But again, I was enjoying that. I was enjoying the fact that you had all these different type of aliens who disguise themselves. You had the talking pug, and you just have Will Smith really, really define himself as this role. I think out of all the roles that he had played, this is pretty much his death-defying role more than anything else. This is his signature movie, and it's pretty much going to put a stamp on it with MI3 3. Even though the buzz on this film is not that great, I don't think too many people for MIB 3 is stomping the tune to I must see this film. I gotta go see this film. And that's largely because, in my opinion, they took way too long, and people will still have a sour taste in their mouth from the sequel. I know the sequel was not that great, but I'm gonna talk about that at a later date. I'm gonna be talking about this one. Um, Basically, the story is that Kay's partner uh, is basically in the midst of retirement. He can't do it anymore, and so you see that when he was trying to fight off an alien which they caught in a refugee truck heading towards the border, and he was trying to zap him for end up hurting the police officers who was patrolling that, and Kay managed to save him before he does any harm. This creature does any harm, but you can tell that really bothered his own partner, and for the sake of him dealing with the transition of retirement, he wiped his memory, and pretty much that's the last time we see him. I'm kind of sad they never really explained how he managed to explain how he lived his life for all this time. Remember, when his memory is wiped out, there is really no indication that they gave him pension funds to retire with. Because when they say you're off the grid, you really off the grid, and that's just proven with just Jay's character played by Will Smith. Will Smith pretty much he's introduced by a running sequence. Which was pretty good. I actually liked that scene. I know a lot of people was like, it wasn't really necessary. But yeah, to me, it was necessary to introduce the character. He ended up chasing this guy all the way to a building. He found out that he was actually an alien, and he just jumped off because I think he blinked at him, but he blinked two different eyelids, and he fell, which forced him to pretty much write a report on the situation. But before that, we get our main villain, who's crash landed on the farm, basically killed the one of the farmers, entered his house, asked for sugar water, and basically drunk that. The girl, his wife or the abusive wife, just passed by out, and he just went on his business. Basically, somehow fitting his flying saucer into a van somehow. So it happened. I know that happened after that, after he pretty much killed the exterminator, but he was introduced to this character, and I really did like this villain. I really did. I really did enjoy seeing this villain on screen. Worst came to worst, Jay introduced himself after the police didn't believe him. Off screen, he erased their memory. Also erased another character, which was shown later on that she had evidence, but he erased her memory. And basically, you have Jay talking to his future partner, and annex ensues. They go to a shop which is known to be in pawn and everything else. Turns out that he was an alien. That he went to interrogate. You find out that his head don't die off. His head actually goes back, and after that, we end up having the situation where Jay's trying to take everything in. He doesn't know how to take everything in. This is a memory erase, but then something else started happening. He realized something else that which I really don't know why, but for some reason he really just. I think there was an edit clip because to me, him erasing his memory and then having him sit down in a restaurant talking to him. Well, any explanation what made him change his mind and felt that he was needed really came out of left field. But in any case, and by the way, that's a scene I had to watch twice because I didn't understand. If he erased his memory, I almost got knocked off by that because I say, wait a minute, if he didn't must have not erased his memory. He just sitting down having dinner. But no, when he said, "Who are you?" Obviously, that his memory was erased, and basically he basically needed to reintroduce him to the world of M.I.B, which he does. He gets through a test, which he passed. Weirdly, by the way, mm, sorry, my throat is dry. And he basically just um, one thing said to another. He didn't believe him at first, but he saw the worm guys, and he basically went up and rapped with his future partner, which told him, "Look, if you're going to be lit like this, you must never make contact with your family again. You must never make contact with your friends again. You must eliminate all contact with the outside world. No one knows that you're supposed to exist." And he gives them 24 hours to think about it, and he thinks about it. He's looking at the sky, he's looking at everything else, thinking about the consequences of whether or not this is a good idea. Also think about the advantage he may have of working with them, and come to the conclusion that yeah, I want to be a part of this, and how I became a part of that is very simple. We went to their main base, which just looked like a regular factory, with one guy guarding the main door, just one guy, and we went down there. He introduced them to the world of the X Files, where you see all these species and stuff, and in the process, he messed around with a lot of toys. Some of them are pretty much product placements that was there on purpose, but never really got around because it fell big time in the market. Um, He's introduced to his first and last suit he will ever have to wear. They race, and in the process, you get a montage of him. His fingerprints in his skin is being erased. His whole birth certificate, social security is being erased, and he's only got one letter and one letter only, and that's J. That's it. That's the only name that he's going to be known for the rest of the film. Um, so far, he's relaxing with his partner, and all of a sudden, they get a call saying that um, an alien just went outside the grid, not supposed to be there. He gets it, get a little antics from there. They end up tracing back to a woman, which finds out that there was another species there. And at that process, this same alien, this hostile alien, wants this, you know, alliance, this key that so-called is gonna, be a factor towards Earth's survival. Is This bug is looking for it. He has to find the owner, but then I'm not taking the right what he was looking for. He thought it was inside a purchase of diamonds, which he did not know at the time. He did not know the cat had it, but no one knew until way later on down the road. Um, Everything seems to go in there. You got a lot of antics going on. You have the birth of a squid. You have the situation with the coroner, which was kind of funny. I actually liked their interactions with the film. And this is actually the first time. And I think Nostalgia Chick had said this before. I think this is the first time I seen that there was no romantic link between the woman. Even though they tried to hint it, it never really transpired. I'm kind of glad they did. They moved away from that because I think for the most part, this film worked perfectly fine just the way it is. A crazy sci-fi slapstick comedy, which I actually kind of enjoyed. You have the dramatic scenes. And I mean, I'm rushing through it because I realize I spend 13 minutes talking about this, so I want to just rush through a lot of stuff here. You have my favorite scene with them going to Flushing Meadows and with that final epic battle. I liked the way the film ended. I think it was a perfect ending to a character. This is actually one time I actually really truly agree with Nostalgia Chick about that particular ending because I think that really hurt the film's credibility in the sequel. And yeah, again, I will give my own feelings on the sequel because there's a lot to be said about that. But in all, I really did like the ending. I really liked the way it just finished the thing, and that's pretty much it. I mean, the ending I really did enjoy. I think the ending was just the way I wanted it, and there was a happy ending. Was working the ranks. His new partner L and K, finally back with his loved one. So what did I feel about this overall film? I really did enjoy this film. I'll get the good parts out. The acting was fantastic. Will Smith was funny, and Tommy Lee Jones. Even though I'm used to him playing serious roles with his characters, I call him the lawyer of movies. That's how he is because most of the films he's playing, with the exception of probably that forgetful forgetful character that I wish he never did or did better. And I blame them most on the studios and Schumacher, is that Two-Face character. That I think Under Siege won. But in this one, for the most part, I always call him the lawyer of movie, because most of the film he had to deal with him with being an attorney, deal with him with being a police officer. In this case, he was an alien police officer. and he's very good in that role. In this one, he was serious, and but he was funny being serious. He was very very good. There was a lot of a lot of dialogue that was very funny that came from him, and the fact that he was able to help Will Smith because they worked off each other very very well, and I think that's the beauty of those characters, those actors. They really did, Matt. They really did click well with each other, and I really did like that. I like the effects. I like the storyline. The only thing I did not like is that there was a lot of. I wish they could have. I think this pretty much they edited because again, that was that one scene I had to see again because I was like, wait a minute, if he erases memory, why is he sitting in the bar? Because it never really clicked on me that maybe he actually saw something in Will Smith that he changed his mind and finally said, "Oh, well, come on, let's get something to eat." I know there's an alternate scene that they did. I actually seen that, and I'm actually glad that they actually took that one off and kept that one, and it makes more better because that scene was a little bit too odd. But um, I had a funny feeling there's something missing in that in between. Um, it took its time getting going. I know that they had that dramatic chase scene, but after that, it really did sort of slow down a little. It had that slowing down a little bit, and then it picked itself up. Then it really picked itself up. So the pacing, it starts off a bit slow, but it really works its way up very fast, and it doesn't linger to the point where you're bored by it. That's the thing I actually really did like. The theme song, it's okay. It's not memorable to me. I thought the animated version of Men in Black was actually more memorable and more serious than this one. This one, when I heard, I was like, okay, this is probably going to be a comedy because, again, I didn't know how they was going to treat this property. And when I heard the song, I said, okay, this is a comedy. Um, I guess that's what they're going for. And the theme song, even though it's probably memorable by a lot of people, it's not something I keep as Will Smith quality. It's not something I put up there with I'm sorry, with John Williams quality. It's not something that I will put up there with that. But it does work for some degree. It's something I can bypass. Again, I just think that the pacing, it took some time, and that's pretty much all I can say about it. Other than that, it's a fun film. Some jokes work well, some jokes, you could live without it. One of my favorite jokes in the film when you see Kay, shaking the dog for information, and people looking at him, and Will Smith says that dog owes him some money. The stupid puns about when he's introducing Will, call him Agent Black and then Agent White, and seeing Will Smith react to the name he's given him. That was kind of that was kind of clever. The fact that you have Will Smith being he's a rookie, he doesn't really know much about how standards are, and he's trying to set more values to a guy who doesn't look like he has any clue of what he's talking about or just basically ignores him because he's like he always call him slick, he always call him like he doesn't realize how the dangerous situation because when you see Tommy Lee Jones character, it's stone cold. I mean, he's like just very serious, and here you have Will Smith, who does take his job seriously, but there's a sense of compassion. He does care for the people he's interacting with, and that's a good part about it. That's a good thing I actually like about that. Too bad they didn't implement it in the second film. I know I keep bringing that up, but my God, what went wrong with that one? I guess I'm gonna have to talk to that one a lot sooner than I wanted to. But man, oh man, oh man, when you look at this film, there could have been so much potential to having a much better sequel. They could have done that. Uh, on a scale of 1 to 4, it's a three. To me, I gave this film 3.5 stars when I first saw it. Yeah, I was a big thing at this stars back when I was a kid. I'm gonna keep the rating only because when I still look at it, I still enjoy watching it. I still enjoy Will Smith and Tommy Lee Jones' performance, as well as the other cast. The other cast was great in this film. Like I said, this is a bit dated only because a lot of stuff that they mentioned. Uh, it didn't work out the way it is, but in most part, it's very few and far between. is definitely nothing that's gonna, it's nothing really that major. Um, the only thing I gotta say is that it does sometimes slow down, and it takes time to pick up. But once it picks up, it doesn't slow back down. It actually runs at a very smooth pacing, and that's pretty much it. I think this film is a fun comedy slash sci-fi. I really did enjoy it. It was something that surprised me because I didn't think much of this film. Like, Man in Black, what the hell is Man in Black? That's even the soundtrack when it came out, but it wasn't until a lot of my friends said, "Oh, it's hilarious, it's funny, it's great, you'll love it." I said, "Really?" I thought it was to be serious, but once I seen it, yeah, it worked it better for that role. And you know what? It got me to watch the anime series, which, to my surprise, I thought the anime series was actually kind of better in many ways. I know that's kind of crazy to say, but I thought the anime series did some justice to the series. Granted, it didn't follow completely to the movie, but what tie-in animation show based on a movie does. I mean, Ghostbusters didn't follow Ghostbusters. The cartoon never followed Ghostbusters, the movie. I'm talking about real Ghostbusters, not that the original. Um, so I can live with that. That's not a problem. So 3.5 stars. It's a good film. I will be talking about The Man in Black too. I'll probably talk about it later on as this movie approaches. I'll probably do that as a special flashback and just do it. But for now, if you really want to watch a good comedy that has a lot of action, I recommend it. Just rent it or Netflix it. It's definitely worth a try, especially if you haven't seen any of the Man in Black movies. I would recommend you watch one, and just for the heck of it, just watch two if you're a big time fan. I won't tell people not to watch what they don't watch, but to me, it was a little bit disappointing. Well, that's it for now. This is Jason E7 saying you guys take care and be safe.